Thursday, July 14th. Trial by Fire. There was a young man whom we'll call Alex. He had come out of a very troubled youth, drugs, violence, even some time in jail. But then, through the kindness of a local church member, whom Alex had stolen from, Alex learned about God and gave his heart to Jesus. Though he still had his problems and struggles, and though elements of his past still lingered, Alex was a new person in Jesus. He loved God and sought to express that love by obeying his commandments. 1 John 5, 1-2. At one point, Alex felt impressed that he should be a minister. Everything pointed to it. He was answering God's call, no doubt about it. At college, things went well at first. Then one thing after another went awry, and his life began coming apart. His source of money started to dry up. A close friend turned against him, making accusations about him that were false, but that damaged his reputation. Next, he kept on getting sick. No one knew what it was, but it impacted his studies to the point where he was afraid that he was going to have to drop out of school completely. On top of it all, he was fighting fierce temptations with drugs, which were readily available in the local community. At one point, he even fell in that area. Alex couldn't understand why all this was happening, especially because he was sure that the Lord had led him to this school to begin with. Alex was wrong about that, or was he? If so, was his whole experience with God a huge mistake? Even the most basic elements of his faith were coming under doubt. Imagine that, amid this crisis, Alex comes to you and asks for advice. What would you say? What experiences of your own have you had that could help someone like him? What Bible text would you use? How helpful might the following text be in such a situation? Proverbs 3, Romans 8:28, Hebrews 13:5, and I'll read Jeremiah 29:13 that says, "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." And 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9 says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Almost all who follow the Lord have had crises during which they've been tempted to doubt the Lord's leading. The important thing in such situations is to cling to the promises, recount God's leading in the past, and pray for faith and endurance. The Lord will never give up on us. The question for us is, how do we not succumb to the temptation to give up on Him? From the book The Ministry of Healing, page 471, it says, "In His providence, He brings these persons into different positions and varied circumstances that they may discover in their character the defects which have been concealed from their own knowledge. He gives them opportunity to correct these defects and to fit themselves for His service. Often, He permits the fires of affliction to assail them, that they may be purified. The Lord allows His chosen ones to be placed in the furnace of affliction to prove what temper they are of and whether they can be fashioned for His work." God bless.